Hey guys, it is Mike with Become the Night. Welcome to another Q&A. I saw a lot of you guys are really excited for this. Thank you, by the way. I'm flattered. Enough bullshitting around. Let's get to them. Jake Swiderski asks, what inspired you to be a music snob? Jake, I'm not 100% sure when it happened, but since I can remember, I have always been a music snob. Now, back when I was like a late teenager, probably most of my teen years, up into my early 20s, I was pretty much like hated everything other than the things that I only liked, and everything was inferior to progressive metal. Now I've kind of come to understand that yes, there are other good musics out there and other good genres and things of that such. What particularly makes me a snob is I think my opinion's the best. Now, remember, that doesn't mean that I'm right, it just makes me an asshole. But an entertaining to watch asshole, apparently. That and one of my exes couldn't stand that I overanalyzed everything in music, and probably one of the reasons she broke up with me is I just overanalyzed all of the media we consumed. So then I kind of got a little self-conscious about it, and now this is my way of having an outlet to push my snobbery out online and spread my own message, but at the same time, in regular life, I don't feel like I'm not saying enough. As a matter of fact, some would say I'm saying too much. Trevor C. asks, do you think rock metal is dead or is it currently taking a sabbatical? Metal is absolutely not dead, and I really don't think rock is either. It's really just the faces of them that are changing, and also the fact that since around the early to mid 2000s, this is the first time in many decades that rock, at very least rock, but also metal, hasn't had some form of popularity in the music scene. For the most part, modern metal radio is either dead or completely moved underground. It's kind of sad, really, but it's not all, it's kind of predictable. When people keep promoting a culture constantly of like, oh, be happy all the time, be happy all the time, be happy all the time. Life's not always fucking happy, man. As a matter of fact, one of the things that gets me off is listening to this raucous, it's not always raucous, but something that's just beating the shit out of things, you know? It gets your blood pumping, it gets you moving, it makes you feel powerful. You don't feel happy or sad or mad, you just feel powerful. Or in a lot of instances with a lot of the prog I love, you just feel moved. You feel extremely emotional. I am a very emotional guy, which is weird to say, but I'm definitely a very emotional guy. I think that's one of the reasons I take on so easily to classical and prog. Sorry, I kind of got off on a tangent, but is it taking a sabbatical? I think there's a shot that it can come back. I don't ever think it's going to fully die. Right now, it's actually extraordinarily popular, but no one's talking about it on the pop scene. And this is kind of a thing where you're gonna see the mainstream slowly but surely die. I wouldn't really say die so much as not be as prominent. It's going to slowly but surely sink in and level out with the rest of us underground people. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this right. Ahmed asks, guilty pleasure pop song. The Bird is the Word. That is absolutely a guilty pleasure pop song by me. If you're talking about modern day pop songs, if you can consider Bad Romance a guilty pleasure, I don't think so. I think it's just that good. Or, honestly, Attention by Charlie Puth, the song that I did a reaction to on here not too long ago. I actually really liked that, and I guess I just thought it was really good, although I'm sure I'd catch a lot of hell for it from you guys. Jay Stees asks, how many instruments can you play and what age did you start playing? Oh, geez. It really depends upon how you define play. It's been a long time, but I used to be able to play piano decently, okay. I used to be able to play the drums okay as well. Now I'm not sure. It's literally been, at least a year since I touched a drumstick. Bass and guitar, you can technically consider them different instruments. I kind of consider them the same instrument, but they do have different techniques to them. But yeah, I can play both bass and guitar. I can sing pretty well, which I also consider the vocals an instrument. Never let that slip by. And when I was very little, I learned how to play the trumpet for a little bit, which I have no more talent for in trumpet. My dad got me a keyboard when I was 6, and I was so elated you have no idea. I started diddling around with it and messing around with things, and they have those pre-recorded tracks that you can sit down and play that go on a loop. I played along with those and just tooled around with it. Then I eventually started writing my own songs on the keyboard. They were simple and shitty, but they were songs. They were freaking songs. They had parts, they had melody. It was actually cool for I think I was 7 at that time. Actually cool for a 7-year-old to do that. I got my guitar when I was 12 and a half years old, so it has been 15 years? Yeah, 15 years since I started playing. Liam Zetterstrom asks, have you ever released any original music, albums, etc.? Or are you working on any right now? And if so, where are you to release it? Okay, so to answer your question, yes, absolutely to all of those. I have released a solo debut album, which I am incredibly embarrassed by, as I mentioned in the last video from this. It really didn't have a very solid identity. The songwriting could have used some work, and I had to sing on it. And trust me, like, my voice is like, it's workable now. It's good. On that album, it was like, yeah, I don't know about this. It was a real love-hate voice. And then the lyrics, oh my god, the lyrics. Lyrics are not very good. I mean, they weren't complete shit, but they were damn close to it. Now, some of the guitar work on there is actually super fucking cool. I will say that. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I really enjoyed some of the guitar work I did on there. I'm looking back on it like, I don't even know how to play this shit anymore. Seriously, compared to when I was 21 and 22, I am actually relatively out of practice. As far as original music on the channel, the background track that I use for a lot of my videos lately is called War Machine. You can find that in a link in the description. That was inspired by music that you would find in a JRPG video game. I also have another song on here called Give It Another Shot, which was kind of done in a moment of extreme depression and anxiety that I was going through. That song's okay. The lyrics aren't too bad, the melody's pretty good, the song structure could use a little work, it's pretty much like pop bro metal. The singing's pretty decent as well. The recording, mixing, and mastering on that is not very good. I was still trying to figure out the best way to approach recording my guitar, which is one of the reasons I got the Helix. Every time I recorded my guitar direct, it would be too hot and it would do distortion, and let's not go into it right now. And yes, I'm also working on some right now. I'm trying to throw a band together around some songs I've been writing for a while. I have a couple of guys that are very excited about it, and we're still working on it with what limited time we have. At some point, I would like to give you guys a little sneak peek of what we're working on, but we are way too early in this stages to be able to attempt something like that right now. As far as where I'm going to release it, I plan on releasing some of it on YouTube. As far as other platforms, I haven't 100% decided yet. The goal here is to try and release my music for free. Well, I should say our music, because it's not going to be just mine. So far, every person who's interested in this project is agreeing to that, and as long as we can make a viable business model around that, I would love to give our digital music away for free. Wafers05 asks, Mike, can you shred? You tell me. Kashra asks, what advice would you give someone who wants to be inside the music business, mainly to metal, but is being torn down by loved ones saying it's a dumb dream to follow? Not to sound too harsh, but they're telling you this out of love. It's not that it's a dumb dream to follow, it's the fact that you have to be crazy to want to try and make this your living. It is extremely difficult to try and do music for a living. And I mean, even a samurai guitarist has talked about, if you really want to make music your career, whether you're making it or being in the industry, you're going to wind up making a lot of sacrifices. I'm a pretty damn talented guy, and I could put my talents towards a multitude of industries, but I've decided to do music, and because of that, I'm a lot poorer than I could be right now. I could have gotten a bunch of different other degrees, gone and be making like $60,000, $70,000, maybe not $60,000, $70,000, you get the idea, a lot more money than what I'm making right now. Be married and starting a family, which are both things that I would like to do anyway, but I put those off because I want to do this career and I want to do it right. Not to mention, I sacrifice a lot of time being with my friends. It really takes a lot of time just doing this YouTube channel let alone trying to put a band together, let alone trying to stay in practice on my fucking instrument. So what advice would I give you? If you really, really want it that badly, if you really do, go for it. My family tried to convince me for the longest time that this was a bad idea, and I would say probably one more member of my family still thinks this isn't the best idea, at least the YouTube portion of it. You should absolutely go for it with everything inside of you, but you have to be prepared to lose everything, and you have to be prepared to fail. If you really want it that badly, you'll get it. You'll make sure you get it. So my advice to you, do some soul searching, find out if this is really what you want, and then decide. But once you make that decision, you cannot turn back. Stuttering Chris Vlogs asks, any advice on starting a YouTube channel? That's honestly a tougher one than getting into the music industry type thing. I mean, the most important thing with any YouTube channel is being able to build a community around it. And if you look at the most successful YouTube channels out there, all of them have one thing in common: personality. I mean, yes, there's other elements that you really like that draw you to the channel, like the humor or the talent or just the being there with the person. But at the end of the day, you have to like the person that is on the other end of the camera, or at least find them that hilarious that you're like, damn, this is just that good. Now, there are other really big YouTube channels that have great success and make a lot of money, and no one ever appears on camera. They still have personality in the video. But if you really want to do it, get started and do it now. Now is the best time. You're gonna make mistakes. You're going to be embarrassed. And as a matter of fact, like, really, you should take people's criticism, whether it's polite or non-polite criticism, and see if you can do better next time. And not only that, look back at your own videos, see what makes you uncomfortable and what makes you cringe a little bit, and ask yourself why. Not only that, look at the people that you love to watch and see what they're doing right and find out how they do that. Natan Kalis, I think I'm pronouncing that correct, asks, hey Mike, what are your biggest musical inspirations and what band/person made you pick up the guitar? By the way, I love your vids, man. Keep up the work, dude. Guys that inspired me to pick up the guitar, definitely Metallica. Metallica for most of my life was, close enough. For over 2/5 of my life was my favorite band. When I watched the Metallica S&M DVD for the first time, and I saw them up there on stage and I felt the power coming through the speakers, that's the moment that I knew that I wanted to do this for a living. As far as the guy that inspired me to go above and beyond with my own guitar skill, and as far as looking at other people's guitar skill, that would absolutely be Steve Vai. Raccoon Plays asks, have you ever been told you are like a Chris Pratt gone metal in the best way possible? No. Golfers93 asks, hey Mike, what's your favorite pro sport? What team and why? Favorite pro sport is American football. I love that shit. I played it for a long time in kid years. That, and as far as professional sports go, I would say that has the most in-depth strategy as far as the popular pro sports goes. My team is the Philadelphia Eagles. I was born and raised around central Pennsylvania, and over there's like a good mix of Eagles fans and Steelers fans. And I was actually raised to like both. Now, it's not that I don't like the Steelers, I would just like to see them lose. No offense to any Steelers fans out there, it's actually no hate for the team, just my own personal preference. Maybe I'll tell you guys later another time. But yeah, the Eagles have just been my team, man. Slurp Bardisner, obviously a Game Grumps fan, asks, are hot dogs sandwiches? No, they're sandwiches. Lord Darkwolf asks, can you release your hair? That was completely anticlimactic. Ryan Clawson asks, I don't have a original question, so I'll just ask, tits or ass? Honestly, I really appreciate and like both. And while I love a good pair of breasts, if I absolutely had to do with one without the other, ass. Absolutely ass. I'm such an ass guy. Alright, so this is my guitar, or at least my main one anyway. It's an Ibanez RG 1570 Prestige left-handed. And I swapped out the bridge pickup for a DiMarzio Evolution. And I swapped out the middle pickup for a YJM, which is also a DiMarzio. And it has a lot of aesthetic damage, and it's pretty dirty, so let's just get the fuck away from that. And then this is my bass, because I am poor and could only afford this left-handed bass. This is a Dean. It is a left-handed edge. I forget the number. It's either a 9 or a 5 or something like that. It's honestly not that great of a bass guitar. It just serves its purpose and has strings on it and pickups, so it makes noise. That's a good thing it does. This little guy is a Yamaha MG06X. It's pretty much for small solo live stuff that I move around, and also I was using it for a while to mitigate some issues I was having with my DI guitar, but anyway, that's just a little thing. My studio monitors are JBL LSR 305s. And they get the job done. This guy has a little bit of rattling in him when he has some of that really heavy guitar mid-range in there, but you know, I get the point. They're decent, especially for the price. These are definitely good monitors. This is the Akai EIE Pro Professional. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this interface, but it definitely gets the job done. Has 4 inputs, XLR and 1/4 inch each, and gives you these little things here to go between a bunch of different settings, which is pretty cool. And I also have some Shure headphones, whatever that is, SRH440, yeah, those work. So this bad boy is my PVJSX. This was the signature amp that Joe Satriani was using while he was partnered with Peavey. This thing is such a powerful amp and really multifaceted. This is probably the best, arguably the best piece of equipment I have in my arsenal. And then down below we have this PV cab, which, as with most of the things that I own, has some aesthetic damage. And I guess you're wondering what this piece of tape is. That is so I know where to put my mic placement whenever I record. And this beautiful thing, which I'm sure you've all been wondering what this is my Line 6 Helix. This is a multi-effects processor, also kind of doubles as an amp simulator. This thing is really kick-ass. Now, granted, Axe FX and Kemper are they're definitely better machines, but for the price, you're definitely not gonna beat it. This literally gives me so many options, it's obnoxious. So many effects, and all really, really good effects. Several amp models, microphone models. You can move the distance between the microphone and the cabinet. You can change the cabinet. I mean, seriously, the list goes on and on and on. This little guy is my microphone, the AKG P220. It's a pretty standard condenser microphone, nothing really special about it. It's relatively durable for a condenser microphone and can handle a variety of audio. Evil Metal Man asks, how would you like the music industry to change? There are a multitude of ways that I would like the music industry to change. The biggest and easiest way for most of my changes to come true would be this one thing. Make digital music free. The pay for streaming services are a good move in that direction. It's acknowledging that this is the way the market's going, but you still have the pay for MP3 download. I mean, let's be honest, how much money are any of these artists really making percentage-wise from people buying their music? I mean, would I have a couple extra bucks in my pocket if I was selling my stuff? Yeah, but at the same time, not that much, not enough to make a difference. I think free digital music is not only the future, but if you look at things in a completely open market with no laws, that would be exactly what would happen. That's why file sharing and Napster and LimeWire, that's why those were things. Bouncing on it asks, Dear Mike Wazowski, is Ryan working at KFC? Why does the man have chicken in his pants? First of all, that's a hilarious question. Second of all, no. Ryan just tried to make a joke one time on Song Suggestion Friday, and it failed miserably, and we asked him why he ever thought to say chicken tenders, just randomly, and he said, I don't know, I forget. So now he just says it to kind of piss me off because he knows it does. As far as why does the man have chicken in his pants, ask his girlfriend. Joe Newton asks, "Hi Mike, have you got any tips on starting a band and finding your sound?" Start with finding your sound. First of all, get really good at your instrument. You don't have to be Steve Vai good, you just need to be good enough that you are really familiar with your instrument and how you play it. Second, what kind of sound do you want? If you listen to something and it sounds really cool and you're like, man, I wish I could play that, learn it. You don't have to learn it perfectly, but anything you put into your toolbox gets melded and blended around, and then one day you'll find yourself tooling around on your guitar and you'll have accidentally written something. But yeah, really, learn as much as you can, play around and have fun, and that's how you'll find your sound. As far as tips on starting a band, it depends, man. If you live in the middle of nowhere, then good luck. If you live in a city, if you're able to, go to shows. Go to shows or go to open mics. Go to, in Nashville, we have artist rounds. I don't know if they have that in many other places around the country. Go to places where you know you're gonna find other people who love music and love the music that you love, and start talking to them. And the best way to be able to show someone that you can actually do something, record yourself doing some stuff. If you have something to show people that you want to play with, that is better than saying, yeah, I'm just good. Hey guys, it's Jono asks, how do you have such amazing and orgasmic hair? Jeans, and not putting a whole bunch of anything in my hair, just shampoo. Hey Mike, on a scale of hockey puck to sombrero, how much do you like Metallica? My answer to that is pizza combos. Jamurai Sack, great name by the way, asks, what is the first guitar you ever bought and what were the first songs you learned? This guy right here is actually the first guitar I ever owned. This is a Cort, I think it's a CL200 or some shit like that. Thing is so out of tune, I would never play it. No, this is literally the same guitar that my dad got me for Christmas when I was 12 and a half, or wait, Christmas? Shit. That's right, when I count how many years I've been playing guitar, I skipped 6 months because I got this in Christmas, like just before I turned 12, but I never really picked up and really started to learn how to play it till I was like that summer, so 12 and a half. First songs I actually learned how to play on it, I mean, I tried to teach myself Nothing Else Matters, I tried to teach myself other Beatles songs and stuff, and I was just epically failing. Till one day I went over to my buddy's house who played drums, I remember his name very well, Chris Halansky. I brought my guitar over and his dad showed me the secret to rock and roll, the power chord. Once he taught me the power chord, I immediately went home and learned every Metallica song. Not literally every Metallica song, but you get the point. First Metallica song I was able to teach myself, Enter Sandman. Alright guys, that's it for my Q&A. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, go follow me on Twitter and Facebook, or if you want, you can support me on Patreon. Let me know any other questions or any of your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!